Alright, guys. I'm going to start a little bit early tonight. I'm still recovering. I had the flu and pneumonia, so I'll get to that in a minute. My name is Daryl Phillips, owner of Noir Apologia Gaming, and what we do here is listen to you talk. I've not been on in a couple weeks. I've been trying to recover from pneumonia and the flu, and I've been pretty weak. I'm still feeling pretty crummy right now, but I will get rest tonight. But I wanted to make sure that I got on. I don't like getting too far out of my habits, even when I'm sick. You know, a lot of people work when they're sick, but I do have to get on camera, and I don't want to look like I'm turning colors and stuff on the screen. But so I released my video on Monday. Hope you guys watched it. It's the last ingredient, and then we're going to start on the steps. I'll release 5 videos from those. This last ingredient, knowing you're not alone. None of these ingredients are in particular order, but I think that knowing you're not alone is like literally the most powerful thing you're going to carry with you. Because sometimes you're going to feel like you're alone. You have to know you're not. Well, how does that? How do you do that? A lot of different ways. That's what we're going to discuss. I'll tell you some of the things I do. But let me show you the power of this. Okay. My friend, my brother, just passed away in September. My mother has been gone since 2002. Both people, and my sister Jacqueline, but I didn't have as close a relationship towards the end there with my sister. But my mom and Dwan, I did. Every part of my being, my personality comes from them. My mom she loved her God. She loved teaching the Bible. She loved helping people. That came from my mom, that side of it. I just had to learn how to do it with my way of doing things. And Dwan, of course, just being next to him is an inspiration. Well, they're not on this earth anymore. They've passed on. They've moved on. They've finished the race, as it were. But it is wonderful for me to sit here, like me trying to recover from the flu and pneumonia, and feeling like crummy, and I feel like crap, and I don't necessarily feel like getting on. And I will, like, I have that picture. I'd always look at that picture of Dwan there, and the other picture of me and him, and I always talk to him. I know it sounds crazy, but I always tell him, brother, I'm trying. I talk to him. It helps me. But more than that, his life, while he was alive, I learned enough lessons to remember what I needed to be learning from him. That what I needed to be learning from my mother, and my father's still alive, but my mother is not. I cannot tell you how many times that I would be walking down the street and just felt utter hopelessness. Hopelessness. It's the best word I can describe to you. Utter despair. Utter just feeling like nobody understood. Wasn't carrying that ingredient, or any ingredient for that matter. I didn't love myself, so I didn't even rely on myself, really. Just survival. And I could have died. I should have died, probably. Many times on the streets. But one thing that Sophia's made me realize over the last, going on 19 years, she's been helping me be a better man, is she believed in me. It's awesome to know that she's going to go to Minnesota, and yes, I'm going to miss her dearly. I'm going to miss her dearly. But you know what, though? I have my head. I remember. I know everything she teaches me. She's not gone. And even if she passes away, it's the same philosophy. Sometimes when you don't want to, that first ingredient, sometimes it can be enough to get you to want to, just by knowing that person is on your side. A lot of times what happens is, and I'd mentioned this in the video, is you get this situation where maybe you've done bad things. Maybe you're not a very good person to be around. Maybe you're miserable to be around. I was. When you start trusting someone and trusting a person to be there for you, to give you the right advice, not just advice. It's not just about getting advice, guys. So when you're taking advice from somebody, It's not just about getting advice and then going to think about that advice, because that advice might not be for you. It's about getting the right advice from the right person. Just because you're my friend or just because you're my relative or someone I love doesn't mean you're even the person I can go to for that advice. It doesn't mean I don't love you. But I try. That's why I try to. I'm very picky. I try to surround myself around people that I can pay attention to what they do, so that I learn everything. I soak up everything that people teach me. And I'm alone a lot. I'm by myself physically. And Sophia, she goes to work, and she'll be going to Minnesota, moving to Minnesota this year sometime. But I'm alone a lot. I do all this stuff by myself. There's some days, y'all, that y'all don't necessarily see, I don't necessarily show you, that it's real hard for me to get on here. Even now. Remember, I am still grieving over my friend. So many things got stopped because of that, or it got changed, let's just say, at least changed, you know? But what keeps me going is knowing that it's the ones that are still here for me. Lori, Tanya, Denise, Sophia, and Sophia's daughter. Sophia's daughter's awesome, man. She's a dork like her mom. I love it. But these are all good people. Not just good people, but they give good advice. They're smart. All my friends are smart. What is hope, actually? People say, well, rely on hope. Well, that's great. It's a nice phrase to say, but what does that mean exactly? Well, to have hope, you have to trust somebody. Trust is time, consistency, and repetition. Oh, I'll keep saying this until I get through y'all's head. Time, consistency, and repetition. Write it down. It means over a period of time, am I consistent about my message, and do I repeat it without changes? Now, can there be changes as in like, okay, well, maybe I've thought about this, maybe I'll change this part over here? Yeah, sure. But not just randomly. Explain why you're changing it. You owe that to the person. I do not want to be responsible for giving the wrong stinking advice to somebody. Right? Because I'm a Christian, and in my world, it's a sin. I don't get to just open my mouth and claim to be a Christian and then lead a bunch of people astray. Because there is consequences to that action. You think there's not, but there is big consequences. I see a world that sometimes goes really negative on their thinking. I was watching Donald Trump's. I don't care what your effing political position is. He's the president of the United States. You should respect him as such. Okay. But regardless, I watched his speech yesterday, and I've been paying attention to these speeches a lot. These political people. They actually helped me with this actually, because I watch how they argue, how they command the room and things. It's really, really educational for me, because it's not like I have a college I'm going to. But I was watching, and no offense, but there's something wrong with the Democratic Party. I had to say that. Dude, y'all, I've seen that before. That darkness. I used to think like that. I used to think darkly like that. everything's skeptical. Why is this person being nice to me? Why is this person doing this for me? What kind of agenda did they have? Did you know that some people don't actually have an agenda? Some people actually do things because they're nice people. I'm just saying. I just want to make sure. Remember my chat's over here. My point is, I pay attention to all these different things, and sometimes the world goes really dark on things that they shouldn't. Inspiration doesn't come from some random thought. Inspiration should come from someone. This is my view of it. It should come from something that someone did that inspires you to do something similar, or to do something in your field or whatever. That's knowing you're not alone. It doesn't have to even be someone you know. It can be someone you're learning from. It can be a teacher. It can be and my stomach's starting to hurt. 1 second. It can be a mentor. But you have to trust these people. You got to understand, trust is so vital to all of this stuff. It really is. I know that I'm not going to spill my guts to anybody about my life unless I trust them. And I want to do for people what has been done for me. So I want to be there for people like y'all, to let y'all know that everything's gonna be okay. What if you get in trouble? My friend Tanya, she's been through some stuff recently. My friend Denise has been through some stuff recently. Lori has been through some stuff recently. We've all been through stuff recently, all of us, and that's why we're able to help one another. It's not that we're Mr. and Mrs. Know-It-All. We don't have to do anything. It's that I have this vision in my head of the way I would love for people to be. They can make their life a lot better. Well, how do you change someone's mind, really? You're not really changing their mind so much as you're changing their action. They have to change their own mind. I was talking about this with Sophia. You have to change your mind first before your actions will ever change. The ingredients are about changing your mind, about retraining your mind to think differently. So, take a person like myself who was a Mr. Negative Nancy. Everything was so negative for me for so long. And you could say, well, rightfully so. But other people didn't have to. Other people didn't have to deal with that. Why did I have to make other people miserable? Well, because misery loves company. The happiness around me back then was not a good thing. I didn't like happy people. I wanted to get on tonight. I'm gonna be going to bed here. I've got to get some more rest. I'm still recovering. You can tell I'm not really feeling as good tonight. But I wanted to make sure that you guys understood that this last ingredient, the most recent one, is the most important ingredient. In fact, it can spark all the rest of them. If you know you're not alone, that means you know you can talk to somebody and vent. If you know you're not alone, that means that may be enough to push you to start. If you know you're not alone, that means you know that you have someone to go to for advice, and that you have someone to talk to themselves. And if you know you're not alone, that means that when you are by yourself with no distractions, you know that advice is trustworthy. Oh my God, it's just night and day. I'm dead serious, y'all. Everything I do is for y'all. I know that sounds silly. I wanted to use all of my talents, all of my abilities, to try to show people how to get out of messes and how to start to think differently, because that's the way I was. I just was a mess a long time ago, and nobody wanted to be around me. Then I would wonder why I didn't have any friends. I don't think we wonder that now. But I love people now. I do. Dwan loves people. And so, that's why I get on here when I'm sick, halfway still recovering sick. It doesn't bother me. Y'all are my life. Y'all are my pride. I enjoy, even if it's only a couple people, a handful of people, and maybe that handful of people shares it with somebody else and they see it. I want to be the best friend I can to you guys. I want to be the best advisor to you guys. I want to know that you can come to me at some point and go, Daryl, I did this, and look what happened. That's my life right there. It was Dwan's too. So, on that note, we will talk on Friday. Hopefully I will continue to keep getting better, and I'll be able to get on Friday again. I'm going to try to get back in a month's schedule. And we're going to be starting on the steps in a couple weeks. So, but be safe when you're driving. Be safe when you get there. Be aware of your surroundings. Be understanding of one another, not just from your perspective, but from theirs. Be understanding of yourself too. I've had to be quite understanding of myself. I get so frustrated with myself, especially when I get sick, because I'm not doing everything I need to do, and I don't feel good, and I want to do too much, and anyway. And Sophia's been sick too. We've both been sick, but I hope that I see you guys Friday. So until then, one last thing. Don't want to forget this. Remember that life is fleeting. You're not promised your next breath. So take it now. Go outside your box. Try something new. Do something new. And you never know what you discover about yourself. Alright? So until Friday, may the Lord and light guide you in all things. Goodbye.